Am I working? There we go. So good morning. Thanks for everyone to be here. And we're going to start with our prelude by Max.
Is this on? This is a classical called registro. It's called registro.
Thank you, Max. Max, turn your phone off so we don't have cross. Can you hear me? Is it coming through? I'm wearing a mask. I don't have the flu, but it's so prevalent, and I am trying to avoid it. So hopefully you can hear me through this. So good morning and welcome. Thank you for choosing to come out on this somewhat icy Sunday morning here to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Niagara Falls. I'm Reverend Sue, and it is my honor and privilege to be in your pulpit this morning. And so as we begin this morning, we will start with our land and social justice acknowledgments. The land that this church sits upon is land that was stewarded by the Haudenosaunee people. It is land that is held as sacred and holy, and it is our obligation and our right to hold it in that same fashion. For Unitarian Universalists, social justice is not just a phrase, it is part of our covenant. It is part of our values. And so we acknowledge social justice actions where we rise in body or spirit with those who are marginalized or oppressed in society, and we side with love in the hope of making all voices heard, respected, and listened to. And so I call you to be present. I ask you to take a moment, take in our wonderful sanctuary. It's always different every Sunday. Take in the smells, the temperature feeling, the windows, just the energy presence of all of us being here this morning. And please turn off your cell phones if you haven't done that yet. For our opening words, today's service is informed by the words from two sources. One is Luke 2, line 11, which states, "For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord." And the other is from Isaiah 9, line 6, which says, "Unto you a child is born, Both of these quotes speak of hope, peace, and renewal, and they complement what we will be talking about in our sermon this morning. And so we are now going to light our chalice. And I don't know who the chalice lighter is today. Is it Paul? It's busy. And so I invite you to find our chalice lighting words in the cover of your order of service. And let's read them all together, please. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, and to serve you, Spirit of freedom. I invite you to find hymn 338 in your hymnal, I Seek the Spirit of a Child. It is part of our tradition and our ritual of being together to take time to share our joys, our sorrows, and our concerns. Okay. And so, as has been my tradition for about the last 2 years since October 7th, I continue to always light my first candle with the hopes that all hostages will be returned across our world and that peace will reign. I invite you to come forward and share your joys, sorrows, and concerns.
And we're just so glad to have you here.
Some of us got a text this morning from Kathy. Wally had a stroke last Monday, and he's in Buffalo General. She said he's doing pretty well considering, but I just wanted to light a candle for Wally and for Kathy and hope everybody can keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
And Jennifer on Zoom wanted to share. Go ahead and unmute, Jen.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I am sorry I'm not there. I'm sick. But I just wanted to share that my Christmas was amazing and it brought me so much joy. Christmas morning, I was feeling well, and we woke up, and Emerson got his monster truck garage, and he was so overwhelmed, and he just exclaimed, "Oh, Santa, I love you so much. This is my best Christmas ever." And he was overwhelmed with joy, and I was overwhelmed with joy, and that's it. See you all next week.
Does anyone else have anything that they wish to share? For all the joys and sorrows, the concerns, those that have been shared, those that are held in our hearts and in our minds, to all of these we give our best intentions and our best energy, and we bless them. Amen and amen. So for our spiritual practice this morning, nothing fits better for me than the lyrics of Patsy Cline from her 1957 song, "If I Could See the World Through the Eyes of a Child." And I'm going to read her lyrics to you. If I could see the world through the eyes of a child, what a wonderful world this would be. There'd be no troubles, no strife, just a big happy life with a bluebird in every tree. I could see right, no wrong. I could see good, no bad. I could see all the good things in life I never had. If I could see the world through the eyes of a child, what a wonderful world this would be. If I could see the world through the eyes of a child, smiling faces would greet me all the while, like a lovely work of art. It would warm my weary heart. Just to see through the eyes of a child. I could see right and no wrong. I could see good and no bad. I could see all the good things in life I never had. If I could see the world through the eyes of a child, what a wonderful world this would be. And these are the lyrics from Patsy Cline's song of 1957. And so at this time we take up the offertory, which goes to serve the good works of this church. So holidays prompt us to think about seeing the world from a child's perspective. The traditions of many faiths and cultures are wrapped up in children partaking in and anticipating events, activities, and legendary figures. Some examples from different traditions. In Iceland, children leave their shoes in the window for 13 days to be filled by the mischievous, troll-like Yule lads. In Mexico, during the 9 nights before Christmas, families participate in Las Posadas. These are processions which create the biblical journey of Mary and Joseph seeking shelter. In the Ukraine, Christmas trees are decorated with spider webs that are said to turn into silver and gold. And this is inspired by a legend of a poor family whose tree was magically adorned. In India, the festival of Diwali involves family-wide cleaning and then the lighting of firecrackers and creating sweet and savory delicacies which all contribute to the multi-sensory experience of joy and light. Our Western Christmas traditions include activities such as hanging ornaments on a Christmas tree, writing letters to Santa, or even hanging a pickle on a tree. Now, have any of you ever hung a pickle on your Christmas tree? I sort of... Yes! Yes, you had... Do you know the legend or why you did the pickle on the... This always has fascinated me. Growing up, I had a friend, Teresa Sharp. She lived down the street from me. And at her house, there were 2 ornaments I always looked at. And the first I'll tell you the story about is this pickle. I couldn't understand this. Like, why do they have a pickle on their tree? And in their family, whatever child found the pickle on the tree, you got a very special gift. The other ornament was of this little boy in his pajamas, but back then, I think they called them Union Jacks. There would be a flap that would open in the back. And on this particular ornament, it also showed the little boy's bum. So we always wanted to find that. Then we were admonished by Mrs. Sharp, stop looking at that ornament. But the pickle ornament has always fascinated me. And I didn't know until recently when I was researching this, where its traditions came from. For some of those who hang the pickle on their tree, they say that, oh, it was a German family tradition. But that's not true. The truth lies in the fact, interestingly enough, that in the 1800s, the F.W. Woolworth, remember Woolworth stores, had bought this big, giant shipment of glass pickles. They didn't know what to do with them. But their marketing team set about to create them as some kind of special Christmas item. And they sold out the first year and continued then year after year after year to sell the glass pickle Christmas ornament. And of course, as traditions go, that's the true story of how Woolworth did it. But in so many families, the tradition has its own stories. It has its own aspects. And, you know, nobody is to say that that is not true. It's as true as any family wants to hold it and believe in it. Of course, there are still others that would happen. Jewish children participate in the lighting of the menorah, actually the Hanukkah, and they receive gifts and eat special foods for 8 nights. Max had many friends who were younger that said, I want to be Jewish and get presents for 8 nights. Yes, it is kind of fun. Although in some Jewish families, there's also themes, like one night is a book night, one night is a night where you do something where you might give to others, or anyway. In our house, one was a socks and underwear. That was for my Nana, or their Nana, who always gave that to them as gifts. Pagan children. Pagan traditions for children at Yule include decorating a Yule tree with natural ornaments, hanging stockings for gifts from Odin as he rides with his horse and gives goodies to all the good children, baking and eating traditional foods like gingerbread, and reading stories and crafting. And the important part here is that families include children in so many of the activities, including the burning of the Yule log, going for nature walks in the evening, telling stories, and celebrating the return of the sun and the rebirth of nature. These are common things in all. And one of the things that's most common across the board is the celebration of light and dark, the triumph of good over evil, the return of hope and joy, the giving and receiving of gifts. In fact, as Max and I were driving up, I was reminding to him, he had a most beautiful first grade teacher, and I always like to name the good ones. And her name is Mrs. Aubrey Broadfer. And in their school, they had about 43 different languages and cultures. Public school in Amherst, Windermere. And Mrs. Broadfer was trying to figure out, how do I balance this? I got Muslim kids, I got Jewish kids, Christian kids, atheist kids. What the heck am I going to do? And so she decided, she asked all the children, how does your family celebrate light in the winter? Every single tradition, every single background had some aspect of light. And it was so wonderful. So of course Max and then his sister who subsequently had her, they got to bring in Hanukkah and the foods for Diwali. There's colors and things associated. My most favorite was, I don't know, I think it was from Sweden, is Santa Lucia, where you wear the crown of candles, which celebrates Santa Lucia, who went through the towns and visited. And some of the kids actually had little crowns with the little candles on them. But the point was made that everybody has some tradition in some way that you celebrate light, that you celebrate that hope. And of course, then there's still the legendary figures such as Santa Claus, the Yule lads who've already been mentioned, Krampus, which is a German-focused figure, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and of course, for our Jew children, the Maccabees. It is these connections and these traditions that provide opportunities for families to spend time together. But what about this idea of a childlike view, or the fact that holidays are for children, or even more so, the quotes in the beginning of our service that talked about a child being born unto us? Through the eyes of a child means to view the world with innocence, curiosity, and a sense of wonder, to appreciate the simple things and seeing the positive in situations without adult biases or prejudice. It involves looking at the world as if for the first time and letting all of the imagination and openness and resilience be present. So unto us a child is born, either in a faith tradition or root that you may have, but it can also be in the recapturing of curiosity and imagination. A child born unto us, or maybe we can change that phrase, a child reborn in us, brings the appreciation for simple joy and amazement in small things that adults often take for granted, like a simple walk, or a bug on the ground, or a puddle, or clouds. I think a child born into us is an opportunity to rise from falling, to re-see how to approach challenges and concerns. Small children are often more open and emotionally honest. They haven't learned the filters of adulthood or cynical ways. A child born in us is a sign, perhaps, that the universe is not quite done with us, that there is hope for the future, that celebration of childlike joy can renew our hearts and heads, maybe lead us to some answers that we seek so strongly in a world that doesn't make sense most days. There was a TV show, a long time ago, TV movie. It was called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And it starred, here's a little trivia question, Loretta Swit. Does anybody remember Loretta Swit? Yep, Hot Lips Houlihan from MASH. That was one of my dad's favorite shows. This was one of her movies in which she starred. And what she did is she played the character of a mother, wife, and because of some unfortunate accidents to a woman who was in charge, she became the director of the Christmas pageant at her church, hence called the best Christmas pageant ever. And of course, in the movie, it tells the story of 6 unruly children, the Herdman siblings, who crash the small town church's Christmas pageant and take over the lead roles. Now, if you're curious about this, you can find this. It's hard to find, but it's actually on YouTube. But you have to get the version with Loretta Swit. There was a version that was made later. It's not as good. The one with Loretta Swit is the best. But here's why this story is even more so important. I'm not going to give away some of the other plots, but this was one part that was interesting. One of the Herdman children, her name was Gladys, she was made the angel of the Lord. And what she would do is she would go running through the town with a little magic wand. She would stop strangers and say, "Hey, you! Unto you a child is born." She took her play responsibility very seriously, and she set out to tell the entire town about this great miracle that had occurred and which she herself had just learned about. So maybe, in this holiday time, we take a bit of a cue from Gladys, and we find a way to tell everyone, but especially ourselves, that outwardly, and most importantly inwardly, that a child is born or reborn. Oh, next chair's here. And so now, I invite you. This is talk back time. You get to share your thoughts, your ideas, your challenges, critiques, or anything else around our topic, our sermon topic theme of the day. So I invite you to talk back.
But okay, this is very interesting because Christmas is about the Christ child, and the things you had to say were fascinating. I was sitting there thinking of, I guess, maybe sadder things. It would be nice if that message about the children could be spread more widely to people who are harming the children around the world. Little girl that just died of starvation in Gaza this week, and the children killed in these wars, and the children separated from their parents by ice, and the parents just disappearing basically. So it would be a wonderful thing if we could get that message spread more widely, because Christmas is so special to so many people, but the message just seems to stop right there.
Okay. Every time that when I was a little boy, little kid, a little demon that I don't know how my parents let me live, I was always fascinated by lights. Lights, especially Christmas lights. And then I understood years later why. But we're not going to go off into that. But I was always fascinated by the Christmas lights. And then the childlike wonder of trains, and then cookies, and every other little thing that, every little kid wants. And then candy canes, and then presents, and sneaking around, and every little thing that children did. And now as I get older, I try to remember all those things that I did. And instead of going through and going so fast and getting caught up in the commercialism of all of it, I go back and I slow down and I look. And I look at the little children and how they react when they see a doll, a light, a train, a Nintendo, Lego, anything. And I turn back into that little kid again, and I see exactly why they went to it, or I just roll my eyes. I'm like, I don't get it. I think that's a generation gap. But it's this time that I want all of us to go back and be a little kid again. Put on your jammies, turn off the cell phone, turn off any cameras, and don't let anybody record it because they'll hold it over you. And it's all about traditions. You know, what did you like? Oh, I hated Aunt Mildred's fruit cake, but I loved, the sugar cookies, or, marzipan, or, Greek baklava, and, brownies, and, getting shooed out of the kitchen. So, okay, what was your favorite thing as a child?
Music. Well, in our house, we always did everything to Christmas carols and sang carols.
You go out caroling?
Yes.
Yours?
Mine was the presents.
What's your favorite Christmas thing as a child?
I had none.
Didn't sneak into the presents at all?
No.
You were an angel. My parents would pay for you. What was your favorite thing?
Probably getting together with family.
Seeing all the aunts and uncles?
Well, it wasn't that big, but just everybody taking time to be together.
Put me on the spot. I'm putting you back on the spot.
Let's see. Snow. Absolutely lots of snow where I came from. And each year, one of my family members would come from, either Toronto or London or wherever they lived. And that was the big highlight. We got ready for whatever family was coming to visit.
I wish your family would adopt mine. Okay.
I'd say as a child, it was always presents and cookies.
To you.
My favorite was my mother's cookies, playing with my brothers and sisters with our new toys and seeing all of our family.
Okay. You're young enough to maybe remember.
Yeah. I loved our family parties. I always looked forward to that present pass around, just hanging out with all the cousins.
Christmas memories past.
My mother always wrapped up a special, very small present and put it under the ceramic tile of the fireplace. And I had to go and look and see if it was from Santa or who it was from.
And was it for you?
For me, yeah.
This is not my favorite, but it was our most fun, was buying my grandmother a bottle of Manischewitz wine and trying to get her and the dog drunk.
Just getting everybody together. That was good. Always good.
Snow and presents.
Liked thing that I had to do on Christmas. After dinner, it just seemed to be always after we ate. Mom would say, okay, the Queen is going to deliver her speech from the throne. We must all sit down and listen to her ramble on for however. I didn't care for that. Never understood what she was talking about anyway.
And so I invite you to find 241 in your hymnal, In the Bleak Midwinter.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. And snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago. Ranger, elder gospel say, cradled in a manger and a bed of hay. In the bleak midwinter, they all place sufficed. Mary and her baby, Jesus Christ. Once more, child and love is born again. Thank you, Patty. And so at this time, it's time for announcements. If anyone has any for the good of the congregation or the community, I invite you to share.
I thought I had put the latest directories in the narthex above the desk before I went away, but apparently I didn't. So there's a very brand new one there with everybody's current email and everything on it.
Any other announcements or anything else that people wish to share? Our closing words today come from Friedrich Nietzsche. You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. So I invite you to find our words for extinguishing the chalice. Paul, you're on the phone. And would you like to extinguish the chalice? And let's all read together. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And Max Goldhirsch has some music for us.
This is a piece I wrote for an old friend.